Let's talk about imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome. I know what you've been told about imposter syndrome, that it's just a state of your mind in which you believe you're not qualified for something when in actuality you are. You just have to be brave enough to walk into that space. Well, there are some times where that's true. Times when you're well prepared, times when you're well studied, times when perhaps you are a perfectionist who needs to get an A plus 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 in your life to feel as though you qualify to be in this space as leadership. When the reality is a B will do. Some cases C's will do. We just need to build some people who are competent and capable and willing to do the work. So sometimes imposter syndrome is that. However, many a times what imposter syndrome actually is not a syndrome at all. You're actually an imposter. Let me give you an example of me at a time when I was an imposter, thinking I was suffering from imposter syndrome. I worked for this company, the very beginning establishment of this organization within this bigger company, this larger company. They decided we're going to do tech in-house. I worked for this company. I sold myself as this expert, enough to be not, hey, the lead, but also not a junior here. When in reality, I was probably more near a junior. But I sold my position such that I could do more. I could speak more. I could lead more. Whatever needs to be done, I could make sure this happens, knowing that I'm intelligent enough to figure it out while I'm there, whatever their needs are. I got on that job, and let me tell you something. I did my very best. I was proving that imposter syndrome that I felt was absolutely wrong. And you know something? I felt good. I was making sure to do the research necessary within the departments to find out what needed to be executed on, what made the most sense, what would be the best features, how would this thing look, move, function. This was going to be absolutely amazing. Exactly what we needed, exactly what everyone was asking for. To the best of my abilities, I went far above and beyond. I was up late working weekends. I mean, amazing. 80 hours, 60 to 80 hour weeks, was doing the damn thing, because I know I was going to do my very best to make sure that I know I am reinforced, that I am not an imposter. I am suffering from imposter syndrome. This is the truth. So when the time came and that project was done, that app was completely created, millions of dollars poured into this development, millions of dollars into people, into resources. You know something? That app, we all had our chest in the air saying, look what we accomplished collectively, guys. The truth of the matter is, Ezra did it. He was the lead in this thing. He swung, hit this ball out the park, and did an amazing job. Truly, I felt in this space, that I'm the man. I got it right. They need to put an S on my chest. But here's the reality. Eventually, they brought in a true professional, someone who wasn't suffering from imposter syndrome, someone who knew what he was doing, someone who knew basics that should be established to make sure this application is running functionally and has a level of cohesion to it. Cohesion, so that there's simply logic, there's a structure, there's architecture, not just design and cool stuff, not Frankenstein parts thrown in because other people from other avenues or other opinions decided to throw their opinion in, and it made sense to me on a cool level, so I slapped it in there. I had a Frankenstein prototype. Frankenstein. It wasn't imposter syndrome. I was an imposter. Yes, on that job, I learned an amazing amount of technology. I learned what I was going to do. It's like trying to build a plane while you're also flying it. It's falling from the sky. That's the level of effort that I was putting in there. And by God, they paid me to learn what I was doing right and what I was doing wrong. When I left that organization, I then went and got severe about what I was doing to make sure that I was truly as good as people believe I am. So I got thousands and thousands of dollars worth of training to make sure I became as good as people expected me to be. And I became that good. But the reality of it is, in that space, in that job, I was not having imposter syndrome. I was the imposter. A better person came along and did a far better job, pointed out how mediocre of a job I did, regardless of our very best efforts, and everyone applauding me internally. We're all having the same vision each day in and day out. I've sold an entire department on some bullshit. It took an outside perspective to say, what the hell are you guys doing inside here? The echoes within the community all said success, but in reality, we were failing because an imposter was at the steering wheel. That was me. I never wanted to be at the steering wheel looking like a fool again. So I got all the possible education I could get to make sure I never felt the feeling of imposter syndrome. See, what I'm trying to get you to understand is that imposter syndrome, I think a lot of you are starting to believe that imposter syndrome is truly just a syndrome, not that it's your conscience. See, some of you, your conscience is telling you you are not ready because you're not ready. It's telling you that you're understudied because you're understudied. It's telling you that you haven't done the research because you haven't done the research. Some of you are being taught to be pathological liars to yourselves and to the rest of the world. You're contributing to why the world is in a downward spiral in some places, in some parts of our minds. And while it's in an upward spiral in other places, it's an imbalance. You yourself are energetically imbalanced. So how do you get that balance back? Be the person that you say you are. Know that a good word, having a good reputation, is priceless. Learn as best you can and enter the level in that is necessary. Earn the proper education. Do your proper research. Be the proper investigation. Do what you need to do in order to be the best that you can be in your position, and you won't feel imposter syndrome because you know that you're well studied. When a doctor is sitting there about to have his first surgery on his first client, rest assured, imposter syndrome is not there. That doctor knows, that surgeon knows he is well studied and well prepared. He's gone through how many hours? She's gone through how much study? They've worked out how much math to know that they are in the right place at the right time. And that client, that patient is in worthy hands. There's no imposter syndrome. Maybe nerves because it's your first time, not the same as imposter syndrome. They know they need to be there. This is just real. That's very different. Some of you need to be very honest with yourselves. Come off of this lie that you're just insecure and land in a place that you need more education. You need to be a better human being than what you are currently. And that starts from saying, I don't know. Grow from there, be better from there. There's nothing wrong with that. No matter what age, no matter what gender, there's nothing wrong with saying, I don't know, but I'm willing to learn. Hallelujah. I want you to win. But winning starts with truth. You must be honest first about who you are, where you are, the work that you have done. Are you worthy to be there? When you don't know if you're the one, study more, research more, investigate more, learn more, memorize more. To the point where you've done so much work, there is no imposter syndrome, just nerves. Now you're honest. Now you're living in your truth. And what is meant to flow to you will flow to you in the proper time, in the proper place. And it will be blessed. I love you. I want you to win. In order to win, you must be truthful. Be truthful. Rise in the proper flow and go win.